Real estate agents, welcome to the Weekly Closer. I'm your host, Jeff Underwood, along with my co-host, Jamey Santangelo. The man with the plan. What's going on, Joey?
The man with the plan, sitting right here, happy.
Yeah. How you doing?
Happy with my coffee.
Yeah, coffee's good.
Coffee is good. My favorite drink of all time.
There you go. Hey, we've got a guest with us today that is not necessarily a real estate agent, but is in the mortgage world. So Jamey Santangelo with Barrett Financial Group is going to share some great information about what's going on out there with mortgages.
Jamey with the Y.
Guys, thank you so much for having me on. I appreciate it.
What's going on with you? What's happening?
Nothing much. Just loving the mortgage industry right now. It's rocking and rolling. The real estate industry is great. So
yeah. All right. A lot of things happening this summer. How about any vacations?
I just got back from Vietnam. It's funny. I put this on. My fiance's in Vietnam, and I feel like Robin Williams. I want to throw out a Good Morning Vietnam.
Go ahead. Do it.
Good Morning Vietnam.
Nice.
Oh, wow. That's fun.
So I went to Vietnam for 2 weeks. That's the extent of what I've done so far this year. My fiance lives there, so.
A great trip?
Yeah, it was great. I've been there a couple times now, so bringing her back in December, so I'm excited about that for sure.
Good. So why don't you let the agents know that are listening or watching, how long you've been in the mortgage business, what compelled you to get into mortgage? Sure,
that's great. I've been in the business now for 27 years. I started in Denver, Colorado.
He started when he was 10.
When I was Thank you. I guess that's a compliment. What got me into it, my brother actually worked for the mortgage company, and he graduated a year earlier, so he said, why don't you try to get into the mortgage business, and a title company actually hired me. And I did title work for a specific mortgage company called Beneficial Finance. And they ended up hiring me to come work for them because they liked how I performed for them in the title end. And they taught me the ropes, from posting payments to processing loans to typing notes and deeds of trusts and closing them and collection accounts and you name it. I did everything. So I learned it all, and it's great. I'm happy I went to work for them.
All right, good. We know there are a lot of lenders out there, right? And there's a lot of different types of lenders. So
great question.
Why don't you take a few minutes here? Let's break down, I guess, some of the differences between mortgage broker, banker,
mortgage lenders. Correct. So there's two of them out there. There's a retail mortgage lender, and then there's mortgage brokers. I'm actually a mortgage broker. So the difference between a broker and a retail mortgage lender is our company has probably 30 to 40 investors that send us their rates daily. I only use 3 of them. I try to keep with just 3 niche type ones that I work with based on credit scores and loan programs. But as a retail lender, you only have one option, really, which is just your parent company that you work with. Now, some of these retail lenders can broker loans for different things. It's a little bit different than being just strictly a broker. That's all I do is work with wholesale investors.
Got it. Okay.
Which is huge. It's a good benefit for people because as a mortgage broker, once the Dodd-Frank law passed, they dictated what mortgage brokers can make. So our margins are way lower than most retail mortgage companies. So our rates and fees are a lot less. We don't charge any underwriting, doc prep, or processing fees. And typically our rates are about 1/8 to 1/4% better.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
So it's good to have that option. And realtors need to know that if you've got, customers out there with 720 FICO scores, 20% down, it's worth it. You do them a favor and hook them up with a mortgage broker. It's always good to shop your rate with, a retail lender as well as a broker. And mortgage companies do expect you to get a couple credit pulls. They do expect you to shop your interest rate. So just don't have your customers have their credit pulled more than 3 times and shop it with a couple mortgage companies, a broker for sure, especially when you get in them high FICO score borrowers. They'll thank you.
Yeah.
So why would a person even go to a lender than a retail?
That's a great question. Retail lenders offer what's called down payment assistance programs. So they got the Home in 5. There's a bunch of them out there. I only have one wholesale investor that allows for down payment assistance.
Okay.
So that's if as a realtor, if you have customers that don't have a lot of money to put down, they deserve the right to home ownership as well. So refer them over to your retail lender and put them into a Home in 5 program. If people call me up and ask me for the Home in 5 program, I try to slide them over into a regular FHA program just simply because the rate is so much better. If you look at and I'll never bash my competition or whatever. This is their niche. This is great for them. But, a standard FHA loan, I like the guy today at 4% on an FHA loan. You look at Home in 5, you're at 5.875, 6%.
Wow.
So the rate's considerably higher.
And the rates are based on today's date.
That's today, correct. Yeah, I probably shouldn't be talking about rates or anything. So yeah, but no, I'm just using that as
time of recording. Yes, time of recording.
Without a doubt,
that's our
but I'm
disclosure.
using that as an example that if you don't have the money to put down and you got a credit score above 640, by all means, you want a down payment assistance program because you deserve the right of home ownership. But if you've got money to put down and good credit scores, you got to shop your rate with a mortgage broker as well as a lender just to see what's best out there. I'll save you at least $1,000 to $1,500 in fees right off the bat.
Wow!
Just because we don't charge those fees.
Wow. Okay. So what are you seeing as far as the type of borrowers right now that are buying? Are you seeing a lot of people like you're moving in from other states, maybe from California,
first time home
putting some money
buyers,
down with decent credit? Is that what we're seeing?
I work with, and that's funny you say that because I work with an agent. You've had him on your show, Jonas Funston.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
He does a lot of relo stuff with you guys, and obviously we use security title. So we get a ton of relo business. So your guys' relo guide is an awesome tool, without a doubt. But we do get a lot of relo business. I have people from Washington moving in, some people from Wisconsin, people from California, and a couple from Illinois moving here as well. So I'm seeing a lot of that.
This is the time to sell over in California for sure.
Correct. And I'm seeing a lot of people selling their current home to buy another home.
So are you seeing it like in a move-up type strategy then?
Correct.
Okay. Right.
Bank taking advantage of the equity they've gained in the past 5 years to put down and move up into a bigger home. A lot of people now I'm seeing are getting into a pool with a home. Most of my customers now are moving into a regular home without a pool into a home with a pool. Maybe it's just the time of year because it's 100.
Oh, because it's so hot?
That could have something to do with it.
Going from a home with no pool to a home with a pool. Got it. Well, they could refinance, right, and just put in the pool.
Correct.
If they wanted.
Pull out some cash.
But, interesting. Yeah, but with the changes in taxation, though, they have to be really careful now about what they're using the cash for.
That's true.
If they pull the money out.
That's true. Sometimes I might even recommend, if people wanted to do that, I might recommend they sell their home and buy a home with an existing pool. You know as well as I do, you buy a pool, you put 40 grand into it, you're probably going to get 15 onto your property.
You never get the full amount back.
Without a doubt.
For sure. What about, you mentioned something about underwriting, kind of the process that you guys use.
Yeah. So our wholesale investors compete against each other for underwriting times. I have a rep with one of my companies that emails us every day. Congratulations, your loan was clear to close in 5 business days. So the way we work as a wholesale or as a broker using wholesalers, they have 4 minimum requirements: signed disclosures, signed application, and common assets. If you have all 4 of those, you can turn it into underwriting. Well, if you're doing your job right as a mortgage lender, broker, whatever, you've collected tax returns and pay stubs and bank statements, and you have all their income documentation. So once they go under contract, update their pay stub and bank statement, have them sign their disclosures, it's contract, turn it into underwriting. So within 2 business days, they'll underwrite it for me turning it in. So within 5 business days of a customer going under contract, I can have their loan out of underwriting. We then process it towards the underwriting results. Whereas the companies I've worked for in the past on the retail end, you've got to get your applications in, your pay stubs, your bank statements, the title commitment in. You got to get your appraisal done. You compile everything into one complete package. Then you turn it into underwriting. Cross your fingers. Hope you got everything the underwriter wanted. That way, if it's in a week before closing, it comes out clean and ready to go. If not, now you're scrambling at the last minute to get conditions in and get it clear to close. Whereas as a broker, I already know what the underwriter wants within 5 business days of them going under contract. So now while the appraisal is being done, we're compiling their letter of explanation, their additional pay stub, whatever we need, turning everything when the appraisal comes in. My average, my clear to close, average clear to close right now is 14 business days.
14 days.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So in 3 weeks, we're done. We're ready to go.
Yeah.
And in some cases, you know as well as I do, you guys have been in this before, you really got to have your buyers on board.
Sure.
I mean, you just got to get people to get you everything you need. And that's kind of the key to the whole thing is, the buyers buying the home, get the lender what they want. Unfortunately, he who has the gold makes the rules. So you got to kind of turn in that stuff as quickly as you can if you want your process and your loan to get through smooth. When people complain about their loan not going smooth, 2 reasons. 1, the loan officer probably didn't do his job correctly, probably didn't pre-qual him correctly. Or 2, they're not giving you what you need to get the loan approved.
Yeah. That makes sense. Or they went out and bought
something.
some washer and dryer before the fact.
Or a new car.
I have a client.
Or a new car.
I have a client right now that says, I just got a job offer and it's so good I just cannot refuse it. I'm like, dude, you take this job now, I'll kill you. You're right in the middle of a purchase.
Oh, and did I mention it's full commission only? I'm going from
And I'm W-2 now. Yeah, it's
That would be
crazy.
bad.
Yeah, that stuff does happen. I mean, you hear about it, but believe it or not, you think it's a joke. It's not a joke. People do crazy things.
So how involved do you want a real estate agent that you're working with to be part of that, if to be part of their financial, the client's financial
I don't think that's a great question. I don't think it's a good idea for a realtor to get into payments and interest rates and things like that.
No, in regards to that, I understand.
Yeah,
but I'm
Maybe,
talking about
maybe in
like,
regards of like
buying a
getting
new
the stuff
car
that they
or-
need and making sure they don't buy things.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a conversation that they should have with them at front. You've got your prequal. Make sure you don't do anything different
Yeah.
with your financial standing. That's also my obligation to do that as well. What I rely mostly on agents for is if I have a borrower that is dragging their feet, getting me documentation, that's when I'll call them up and say, hey, I might have a service level agreement with you, or I want to get your loan closed in time. Your borrowers aren't performing. Can you get with them and maybe light a fire under their butt a little bit and help me get some of my documentation in?
Got
Yeah,
it.
that makes sense. So do you get some business that jumps over to you because of your quick turn times
Correct.
from other places?
And the main thing that about half of my business comes from people I've done loans for before. Where they're like, God, that was such a great process and it was smooth and it was easy and I'm going to refer you these people. So,
Wow. All right.
Yeah.
That's great. Before we go to the next segment, what's one thing you for sure want agents to know before we move on?
have your buyers shop with a mortgage broker. They'll thank you. Your buyers will thank you, especially these buyers that have 720 plus FICO scores, money to put down, employment stability. They'll thank you because, quite frankly, as a mortgage broker, we have no lender fees and our rates are a quarter better, a half better. I have one investor that it's hard to explain, but once the Dodd-Frank came out, it limited what mortgage brokers can make, which is 2.75% of the loan amount. That's the maximum I can make. And guess what? That's the minimum I can make.
Sure.
Otherwise, it would be considered disparate pricing. Well, I have one investor that only pays 2%. So that 2%, it gives it such a better interest rate that no one is competitive. Granted, you're making less money and we're only making 2% on the loan, but so what? It's really not. It's about giving that borrower the better rate, especially those people that have that 760 and higher FICO score. 720s, that borrower I only use for 760 and higher, that investor, just because they'll kind of drag you through the mud a little bit. Yeah. But they get incredible rates. So I prep my buyers. Look, if you want to go to them and get that rate, be prepared for them to ask you for a pay stub from 2015. But still, they'll do that because you're giving them such a great rate. To lock someone, like I said, at 4% today, I told them the same thing. Be prepared to provide me more documentation than they need to. They have the lowest default rate of any servicer in the nation. It's because they're nitpicky about their loans.
Yeah.
But if you want to save a half a point in your rate, and no one can touch that rate today, so they'll do it.
Right. No, that's great.
So Mia, shop your buyers, have your buyers shop with a mortgage broker, just so that they know that what kind of deal they're getting, and you're offering your clients the best deal out there or the best mortgage product.
All right. Well, so if any agents listening or watching now want to reach out to you directly, how do they do that?
My website is jameyforloans.com, JAMEY, the number 4, loans.com, or on my cell, 602-403-9455.
All right. All right. Are you ready to get in the ring?
I am. Well, I have one thing that
Okay, go ahead.
Before we
go
get
ahead.
in the ring, one thing I want to
we'll take
suggest
that back.
for realtors. I have a realtor that I've been working with, and just one marketing thing or one idea that realtors can do now for their clients. After you close your deal, instead of buying a closing gift, throw them a housewarming party. Get with your mortgage guy, spend a couple $100 a person, buy the food, cater it, and throw them a housewarming party. They feel obligated then to introduce you to all their friends that come.
Yeah.
It's a great way.
That's a great idea.
If you can get a little photo booth, we got a little photo booth. You put in those goofy glasses and
sure.
all that. So then when you come in, hey, let's take some pictures. Then you ask them, thanks for coming to the housewarming party. We want to send you these pictures. Can we get your name, phone number, and email address so we can send them? Now you've captured everyone that's come in.
Nice.
Yeah.
So it's been working for us. We do one a month. So yeah, throw a housewarming party for your customers and try to reel in some more business off of them.
All right.
Go.
Let's
Great
get into the
advice.
ring
That's
now.
great advice.
What do you
All
got
right.
for me?
All right, here we go. What's the best advice that anyone's ever given you?
the best advice I've given, especially in the mortgage industry, is just be honest. Be honest.
Good. That's life.
Right.
I mean, if you lie, if you blame stuff on in this mortgage industry, if you mess up on a loan and you call everybody and say, you know what, I'm an idiot, I messed up, they're going to forgive you and move on. If you blame it on other people, you look like an idiot. So really, just be honest and fess up and man up to your mistakes and move on.
All right, it's a good one. How about a favorite mobile app?
Well, mine, I guess, would be the Qualifier Plus app. I'm a mortgage guy, so it helps me, calculate payments and send out good emails with regards to how much a payment's going to cost. So it's something I can use on the fly and just go through payments with people. So,
all right. A book recommendation?
The Four Agreements.
Okay.
It's Tom Brady's favorite book. It's be impeccable with your word. All those. Yeah. So yeah, it's a great book. I recommend people read it for sure.
All right. How about a productivity tool or software that you use on a regular basis?
Well, I'm in Sync. I work with Sync. I know there's some agents out that are in Sync, so I have an agent that I work with in Sync, and that's a great, CRM program as well as a program to send out mass mails, whatever. So yeah,
absolutely. And one final question. Have you draw from the match?
Go.
Uh-oh.
Careful.
This is beautiful. What is that, velvet?
All right. What'd you get?
What is the most adventurous thing I've ever done? I did a 3-day tour of the Mekong Delta.
Wow. Sounds like you travel a lot.
Well, I used to, but no. Now I go, since my fiance's in Vietnam, I've been going to Vietnam, so I went and did a 3-day tour on the Mekong Delta on a little boat. It was awesome.
Was it?
So much fun.
Wow.
They caught a red snapper for us and
Cooked it right there.
I made my own rolls right there. It was awesome. It was super fun.
Wow.
That was a good time.
That is cool. For sure. I have to look that one up.
Yeah, the Mekong Delta.
Because I'm trying to picture something in my mind. I just don't know for sure.
It was almost like being on a riverboat and just
okay.
And cool. It was awkward because you're thinking back to like the Vietnam War, and I mean, God, these people were on this boat, and there's guys in the jungle with guns shooting them after. It kind of freaked you out a little bit being on it. And unfortunately, that's the only thing that people know about Vietnam is the war. When it is a beautiful country and the people are super cool.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks, Jamey, for being on.
Right on. Thank you so much for having me.
Great info.
We'll have to thank Alex. Alex brought you on.
Alex Roberts, without a doubt. She's a great rep.
And you're here at Security Title Studios. And guys, until next time, we will talk to you soon.
Thanks for watching.
Have a great week, guys.
Adios.
See ya.
Good work.
Good job.
Cool.